logical issues, so thank you. Right, we'll go on to waste management. We've got Tanya, I think Hannah, just Tanya. I think we have Sarah online as well. And now this was the additional agenda on a different page. It came in a bit late, sorry about that. But hopefully everyone found it. Kia ora, Tanya. Want to switch on your mic there? Thank you. Yeah.
Great. Kia ora koutou. In short, this item is to delegate to elected members and staff
Thank you. Councillor Bartley and then Walker.
Thank you, Chair. Thank you, Tanya. My questions are sort of along the same lines as Councillor Newman. I spent Valentine's Day yesterday talking about waste and recycling for Radio Tonga, because a lot of the Tongan community, this is what they requested information on was, what do I put in the bins? and which bins. So my question is around, are we getting to our diverse communities who aren't the people that join, that are part of those waste recycling, advocacy advisors? They're not those people. So how are we getting to our diverse communities?
Yes, that's a great question. Thank you, Councillor Bartley. We are really hoping our community partners can help us reach out to various diverse communities because they have very good contacts across a number of communities. We're also making sure that the events we provide are out at some of those festivals, the Diversity Festival, Pacifica, Polyfest, etc., that we can reach out to communities that don't traditionally respond to our consultation. And we are trying to make sure our communications are on diverse channels to reach out to various people and very accessible to everybody in the region.
Kia ora, Councillor Walker.
Sure, so I'm just picking up on the issue that Councillor Newman has raised. I would suggest that there'll be people in business and there'll also be individuals that may not be part of a larger group, but do share perhaps something across the waste area in common with many others. For example, there are a number of people that have worm farms and the like at home. There isn't a group, as I understand, of people with worm farms across Auckland, but it would be very useful for council to hear about people that share that sort of operation, and there may be other things as well. So I would hope that we actually have a high degree of latitude so that we can hear from individuals who, as I say, may not be part of a formal group, but are representative of people that share a common experience or advice. That would be very useful. And I hark back to my participation together with Councillor Newman as commissioners, hearing the earlier waste plan and hearing from individuals and the like that were knowledgeable around that area was very useful. That also included people that participate in community gardens,
Kia
for
ora,
example.
Councillor Walker, is that a question?
So my specific question is, can people that may exist as an individual but are representative of a wider concern or interest participate in this process that you're enumerating under A?
I think there is a degree of latitude that we can extend, and it will depend a little bit on the uptake of the number of regional organisations and interest groups that do want to attend. But where there are people that might be, for example, an interest group through a Facebook group, they would be very welcome to provide those views at that event.
Thank you, Councillor. Are there no more questions? Councillor Henderson said he'd like to move. Seconder, Councillor Baker. Right, there. Anyone would like to speak on this? Thanks, Tanya. Sorry, I appreciate that. Anyone like to speak? Right. All those in favour? Any opposed? No. Thank you very much. Don't think there was any abstentions. Right. Now on to item 12. Oh, I've lost my place now. Sorry, item 11. 10. I'm getting really confused, sorry. Review of the forward work programme. I think, Megan, are you leading this one? Should be pretty straightforward as well.
Yeah, I think it's kind of self-explanatory, Mr. Chair. We've done our best to obviously, both move forward matters or complete matters from last year on the forward work programme for this committee. There is still some uncertainty in some of the areas that you work in, particularly land use and resource management reform. So I guess I'm signalling now there might be some things that pop up or that we'll need to prioritise, and then other things will therefore need to slow down or be deferred. But hopefully, as always, you'll get advice from us about that and what the implications are. So very happy to answer any questions or comments. Thanks.
Kia ora. Thank you, Megan. I'll move and Councillor Dalton's keen to second. Are there any questions? Councillor Darby.
Yeah, just on this, in terms of the forward work program, Megan, there's a lot coming out of the government suggesting there's going to be substantial change in the planning area, priority projects or projects of national significance, or fast tracking seems to be much discussed, and there are numerous leaks out of ministries, it appears, which the media are picking up on, and that's currently how we're learning about how some of this these bills might be drafted up. It's of concern to me, and I guess I'll frame it through this way. It's of concern to me that the opportunity for councils, Auckland Council and communities to participate is likely to be severely eroded. There are strong signals in that regard. So rather than wait for a bill, how is Auckland Council working with, say, the Auckland Policy Office in Auckland and using all its connections to be feeding back what you know is the council position on making sure that the elected members and the communities of Auckland have the opportunity to participate at the earliest opportunity and avoid a situation where we get possibly disastrous legislation?
Through the chair, thanks for the question. I think it's firstly, it's clear that there are still, I think, some policy elements of, let's call it fast tracking, consenting process that are still just being worked through, I think, with the ministers. That's my understanding. So it's not fully formed. Sorry, that's probably not the right term. There are elements that are still being worked on prior to coming into legislation in early March. We have direct conversations with ministry officials, and we've had some expert staff from the consenting team involved in a small working group that the ministry has worked with in order to help develop this process and legislation. But of course, there are some key requirements coming down from government. So those staff have been clear to put this council and previous councils, it's pretty consistent advice and positions around the role of local government councils in both the policy and direction and the consenting processes, and communities, through notification or whatever that might be, or appeal rights. So we've certainly passed that on. The legislation will be almost drafted, I'm sure, by now, and there will be that typical select committee process for the actual bill, which we will provide a submission, etc., and work that through as we always do. But certainly this fast track process, from what I understand, will remove some typical roles of both communities and local government councils in the resource consenting process. So it will be a change for sure.
Look, thanks. And I know it's difficult at this stage because there's so many balls in the air, but I guess I'm interested in yourself, with the chair and the deputy chair and the mayor, staying very, really close to the action. I'm sure you will be, so that the mayor can be conveying ahead of select committee, like back to respective ministers, because I think we're going to have to get that dialogue going very, very early, because once these things are drafted, they are like concrete, as we've seen with the legislation from a previous government. So all power to you, Chair and Deputy Chair.
Yeah, thank you, Councillor. It is a lot. The potential new legislation sounds quite different. The fast track, especially when they'll have ministerial power and the panel is likely to have very little ability to decline, which would be quite a big change. So we are keeping abreast of that and looking to what that means for all of us. And there will be, I'm sure, issues pop up, and we'll just hope that we are aware of those issues before they do. So thank you for that. Any other questions? Don't think so. Right. All those in favour? Any opposed? Abstentions? No, thank you. And then we'll go to the summary of Planning of Haimana Parks Committee information, memos, workshops and briefings. Councillor Walker, second. Councillor Dalton, all those in favour? And that is, oh no, it. Sorry? That's it. We almost got there pre-12, so thank you for that. Thanks to the team working on the technology. I'm sure that was very frustrating. And it sounds like we'll be getting it fixed tomorrow for next week, so let's hope that there are no issues. Unahia, unahia, unahia. Ki urutapu nui, ki wātea, ki māma, te nāko, te tinana, me te wairua, e te takatū, koia e rongo, whakairira, ake ki runga, ka tina, humie, huie, tai ki e. Kia ora everyone, thank you for sticking with us with those sound issues and have a good rest of your day. Thank you.
Kia ora, Chair.